All right, folks, we are live. We are live. I know I'm like 30 minutes early, but we're going to get it started. This is an emergency stream today. I have been gone all day, and I'll explain why I was gone. One of those days where, probably a little bit nice to do the market open, but it is what it is. Some days you can't do it. Today was one of those days, but boy, oh boy, was I paying attention to what was happening in the global capital equity markets today, or should I rather say stock market TMZ, which is what happened today. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it for the next 2 hours. We are going to talk about it. Today was a wild, bro. Wild. I don't even know how to I can't wait to see what you guys think about this, because I've got some thoughts, I've got some opinions, I've got some speculation. I'm sure everyone does, but it was just wild. It was absolutely I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, we're going to try to get through it and try to understand. I want to explain, given I've had like 4 or 5 hours to think about this, I have some perspectives and angles that maybe will be valuable to think about it from a different perspective. And so we're going to try to go deeper and see what we can get. But I can't imagine what people were thinking today seeing it happen. I will tell you exactly what I was doing when I found out what I found out, which is the same thing all of you found out. Elon and Trump officially divorcing today. And I'm very curious to hear all your guys' perspectives and where you were, because I don't think any of us are going to forget where we found out when the greatest bromance of the century decided to officially split up. Tesla stock right here down 14%. It was worse. It was at 274 at one point. Now it's at 286. So I guess it's a little bit better than the absolute lows, but it was bad today, bro. Today was bad. Today was bad. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Again, I'm sorry I could not do the market open, the market close today. We did have a crazy market open. Robinhood went to 76.50. Like the market open and Carp had, everything was crazy in the market open. And then slowly, as the hours passed, we got that good China update with Trump. Like S&P was almost 6,000, and then boom, you had a breakup that happened in front of all of us, and we had to deal with it. So where was I? I was at AIPCon. Pretty sure everybody knows I was at AIPCon. I can't officially say I'm at AIPCon until they disclose that there's an AIPCon. That's why I always have to keep it a little bit of a mystery. But you guys probably know at this point, whenever I'm traveling to some of these events, that it tends to be for Palantir stuff. And yeah, super cool. It was fun. You got the little AK Media Pass right there. I think some of you guys probably saw the Carp. The Carp 10-minute keynote. We can watch that later as well. They did it different this time. They didn't do it live, so you guys would have found out on Twitter if it was live. I didn't know it was not going to be live. When I got there, they were like, "Oh, we're just doing it as a pre-recorded thing." So they're trying to do something different this time. So that's why it wasn't live. But they announced it a little bit later throughout the day, and then they had Carp's keynote, which it was phenomenal, dude. Carp's keynote was great. It was awesome. I think people really enjoyed it. There was a girl who painted Carp while he was speaking. The theme of the presentation was art. Look at that, bro. She literally is painting Carp on the stage. That's wild. So the whole theme of this AIPCon was about art and creativity and in terms of customers. I got a bunch of pictures. I'll show you guys later, but yeah, it was fun. But, outside of AIPCon, the only thing that people cared about today, they didn't care about Robinhood getting to 76. They didn't care about Carp's New York Times rant that he had this morning, which I thought was absolutely epic. The AIPCon, no one cared about anything other than Mr. Elon and Trump breaking up. And we're going to talk about it. We want Steve. I'm going to text Steve right now. I'm going to text him. Let's see if he can hop on. I'm live right now. Can you join? Let's see. But anyway, okay, so let's talk about it. So first of all, here's my first question. Where were you when you found out what happened? So throughout the week, right, Elon's been, we talked about this on the show 2 days ago. We were like, all right, Elon's starting to get a little bit, dicey about this bill. He's not a fan of it. He doesn't like it, yada, yada. And we were talking okay, the relationship's probably getting hurt. It's not in the best case. I am walking back from the stage at AIPCon. I did the halftime show as well. You guys will see it tomorrow when they upload the full thing, to the main place where everyone's gathering, to the demos and all that stuff. And as I'm walking back, I'm walking into the offices. And as you can see right here, I screenshotted it when it was 3 minutes ago. So literally I see it right after it was posted. time to drop the really big bomb. This is after like 15 to 20 tweets about why the budget bill is so bad. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. So I'm walking into the Palantir offices. I see this tweet. I stop. What I should have done when I stopped is I should have bought some puts on Tesla. That's what I should have done. I should have bought some puts on Tesla. As a content creator, not an investor, I was like, oh, I need to tweet this. So my initial reaction was, I need to tweet this right now, not I need to buy puts on Tesla. What I should have been doing is buying some damn puts on Tesla, because obviously you got Elon calling the president of the United States a pedophile. Yeah, the market's probably not going to like what that means for Tesla stock as well, because he's creating a massive rift between him and the president. And so when I saw this, I had to stop. And I see a lot of you guys in the chat saying you just couldn't believe it either. I couldn't believe it. And I was just, and there's like hundreds of people around me, right? And none of them are on their phone. None of them are on Twitter. They're all just like talking amongst themselves. People didn't really know what just happened. Like, I am witnessing history. Like that tweet, you can't take that back. You can't go away. You can't delete it. It's there. It's out there. You said it. And all of these people around me are going to find out that the world's richest man just called the world's most powerful man, in terms of the president of the United States, a pedophile. And so I just stopped in place and I'm reading it and I'm like, oh, this is about to get crazy. This is about to get crazy. And so then I go into my room where I was doing some interviews with some customers, and I had 45 minutes for free. And so I just sit down and I'm like, okay, so what's next? Like what's happening right here? I see Tesla stocks start falling from like 290 to 275. I'm like, oh shoot, this is like, it's really getting hit. This is bad. And then I just start trying to get content, information. How are people reacting to it? And slowly by slowly, I start walking outside. And there were some friends around, and I was like, hey, did you see the news? And they were like, no, what happened? And I was like, Elon said Trump's on the Epstein list. They're like, no, he didn't. I'm like, no. They're like, that didn't happen. I'm like, dude, you've been gone all day. Like this. I show them the tweet, and they couldn't believe it. They're like, what is going on? Farzad, I can't imagine how Farzad is feeling today. I can't imagine. Farzad, for those that don't know, is he's one of the biggest Tesla channels on YouTube. He covers Elon, every single day. Alex Lim, thank you for being a channel member, man. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being a channel member. I couldn't imagine what Farzad, or anyone who's been covering the Elon Tesla story as intimately as Farzad has been, I couldn't imagine how you feel. Forget the stock, bro. This is just like Elon straight up saying, I'm done with my relationship with the president of the United States. And he dropped a nuke. He dropped a freaking nuke. Yeah, best show on the planet. I mean, here's the thing about Palantir. We'll talk more about Palantir in a bit, but I don't think anyone cares about the New York Times anymore. I mean, if the Palantir New York Times story, after what Karp said today, somehow supersedes the Elon Trump Epstein files story, like I would have to say the media is truly manufacturing this Palantir thing and trying to manifest it to become a real story. Because there is no way in hell any media publication, especially mainstream media, they hate Elon and they hate Trump, and both of them are beefing. This is Drake versus Kendrick for nerds. And the media is going to cover it like crazy. So I can't imagine they're going to care about Palantir anymore. So in a weird way, it's actually kind of good for Palantir, because I don't think people are going to care about the New York Times headlines when you've got a story like this breaking. But as I'm watching this unfold, I can't believe it. And so slowly by slowly, other people start to come up to me. They're like, yo, did you see it? I was like, I saw it. You saw it? They're like, I saw it. I was like, what do you think happens next? They're like, I don't know, but this is like people couldn't fathom that Elon dropped a nuclear weapon. Amit, did you sell? No, I didn't sell. Now, remember, I was going to buy Tesla yesterday. I was so close to buying at 330. By the way, talk about circle, bro. Freaking, I wish I got my allocation. I wish I remembered to get an allocation. This freaking thing pumps 200% in a day. I did say, bro, 2 days ago, I said, I think this is going to move. I said stablecoin legislation, Bitcoin. I was like, I think this is a prime stock to move on IPO. I just didn't freaking get my allocation. But I didn't sell Tesla. I almost bought it at 334 yesterday. I almost bought 50 shares at 334. Like literally, I'd put in the order for 50 and I almost swiped up. But something, I was just like, I don't know, dude. Elon kept tweeting about the play. I was like, maybe let me just wait. Let me be a little bit more patient, not get too greedy. Market's a little up there. Let me just hold on. And thank goodness I did. Because if I didn't, I would be bag holding so hard today with 50 shares of Tesla that I just didn't need to buy at 340. Now, am I buying at 280? I don't know, dude. I mean, this thing, I'm very curious for what people think, because who knows, bro? I was just on the phone with Derek. He thinks this thing could absolutely go to freaking 150. It gets really bad. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm very curious to kind of see and pontificate about where the stock goes. My gut tells me it's not going below 200. My gut tells me people buy this dip. And if we get anywhere near the March or April lows, I will be buying that dip. But Steve said he's good, so I'm sending him the link right now, and we'll get Steve on. But this was crazy, bro. This was absolutely crazy. Are you going to chase Circle? No, I'm not chasing it, bro. It's up 200%. I don't even know anything about the company. I just predicted that it would pop. I didn't get my allocation. I'm happy for people who got the allocation. If I did, I would have sold. I would have sold, to be honest. I would not have held it. Someone texted me a screenshot. They were trying to sell on Robinhood, and Robinhood was like, oh, if you sell, you're not going to be able to participate in IPOs for the next 60 days. They were like, you're going to be classified in our system as a flipper. And like, look at this screenshot he sent me. IPO flipping warning. And he was like, what do you think I should do? I was like, dude, okay. I guess I can't do IPOs for the next 60 days. What interesting IPOs are happening over the next 2 months? I don't care. I would have taken my profits, bro. If you're up freaking 250% in 2 hours, I don't know what Circle's going to turn into, but I would have taken profits. So maybe it turns into the next CoreWeave. We'll see. But yeah, I didn't buy Tesla yesterday. I didn't get CoreWeave. I'm not going to chase CoreWeave, but this day was crazy. This day was absolutely freaking crazy. I sold Crowd yesterday and I have 100K. So do I really get a Tesla discount? I mean, dude, if we get 220s again, which look, the thing about Tesla, right? It can run hard and rip your face off and make you feel like, you missed it. You missed the story, everything. And then Elon, who said he's done with politics. Dan Ives' entire upgrade last week was like, Elon's laser focused on Tesla. Elon says, I am going to drop a nuclear weapon on the president of the United States of America. I mean, dude, so and we'll go deeper into this, but here's my thing. And I'm curious two quick takes I want to give you guys, and then we'll go deeper into both of them. Number one, Rango, shout out to him. He's a former Tesla employee. He's been on the channel before. He tweeted that he thinks Elon's crashing out because something's wrong with the robotaxi. And this is the best take I've heard all day. Every time Elon crashes out and goes apeshit on Twitter and he's super upset, it's because something's wrong in Tesla. And this is what we saw with the Twitter acquisition for $44 billion, all that stuff. Whenever he goes crazy, it's because he knows either he messed up or Tesla's messing up and he wants to distract people. I think there's a hell of a chance. I'm not saying this is happening, but just based on what Rango said, it really got me thinking maybe robotaxi is a dud or something's going wrong. And Elon wants to distract everybody. And to distract people, he wants to start this public beef with the president and not really acknowledge the fact that robotaxis are not going well. Maybe. That's one argument, right? That could be wrong, but I thought that was a reasonable take that I heard today. So that's one thing. Number two is, look, he dropped a nuclear weapon. You do not say someone is on the Epstein files unless you are going for their throat. He went at the president's soul, because we've all seen the video with Epstein and Trump, and everyone's always thought about it in the back of their head, but there was never real legit evidence. Elon Musk saying, by the way, the reason the Epstein files are not coming out is because DJT is on it. You don't drop that nuke unless something deeper is going on. Now, everything that's been going on is about the spending bill, right? Elon's like, we're going to bankrupt our generations. We have all these deficits, yada, yada. I think he genuinely cares about that. I really do. But you don't drop that type of a nuke unless something else is happening. And then exactly, this was, the comment I thought of immediately. So he gave the guy $350 million knowing he was a pedophile. I mean, it kind of says something about Elon, right? There's so many angles to analyze this from. And in my opinion, you don't drop a nuke unless you genuinely feel that something deeper is happening, or you want to get at the president, or there's some issues with the administration that are going to hurt your companies. There's something more to this story is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know what is going to happen. But I do know that today was a crazy day. And I also know that I need some help breaking all of this down. Ladies and gentlemen, we have not talked to him in 3 days because I've been traveling, but he is here to help us understand what's going on. Steve, how are you doing?
What's up, Hollywood?
What's up, man? How are you?
Great, except my Yeti isn't working for some reason.
You sound good. You're good. How was your day?
You caught me. I just started the accountant too. I was 5 minutes into it when I got your text. You are Googling what it is, aren't you? You don't even know what this is. Wow.
Who's John Bernthal?
You did not just say that.
I know Ben Affleck. Who's John Bernthal?
He was in Wolf of Wall Street, one of your favorite movies.
Who's Daniela Pineda?
All right. Anyway, I know this isn't why you want to talk to me, so.
What is this? This is a movie, dude? What's okay?
Yeah, the
Anyway.
first one was really good, and the second one became an Amazon Prime movie, and I just realized it today. And I think it just came out this week, so.
But do we need Netflix or Prime when we've got the stock market, dude? Do we really? I mean,
Stock
this.
market's not open right now.
I know, but what happened today was.
Who cares?
See, no, we're not going to say who cares. Okay,
I can say whatever I want to say.
We are going to analyze what's happening because we might get to buy some cheap Tesla. That's for sure.
I wouldn't touch Tesla with 10-foot pole right now.
Okay, so I mean, where were you when you saw Elon say that Trump's a pedophile?
I didn't see it until like 6, 7 o'clock.
Oh, so you were late to seeing it.
I was in meetings all day. I didn't have time to eat. Today was a very long day. So I saw my phone blew up. I couldn't look at anything.
Wait, who was texting you? Like your friends or?
Yeah, a lot of people that I know were texting me about it, and I put my phone on silent because it was going off so much. And I saw it probably around 6:30 and had dinner and was going through a bunch of stuff. And I had my own thoughts on it. You know, I don't like to be political.
Well, I mean, yeah, look, I know you don't like to be political. I don't even think there's a left or right type of take on this.
Here's what I'm going to say to you. And this is not a political thing. I am a pure independent. My own opinion, and I have no proof of anything, okay? And I could be wrong. Let's keep this in mind that I have no information on this and I could be 100% wrong. But don't you think that if Trump was in the Epstein files, it would have come out during the campaign when the other party was in power?
Okay, so I heard this take. I think there's some merit to it. By the way, Elon said, "Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out," underneath his Epstein post. So he's like kind of doubling down on it. However,
by the way, before we go down that road, I'm really annoyed at Elon right now, and here's why. I think
a lot of people are annoyed at Elon right now.
Here's the thing: I don't care who the president is. I don't care if it's a Democrat or if it's a Republican. You do not go up against the president of the United States, especially when a lot of things that can benefit your company hinge on regulation. You do not get This is why, have I not always said politics and business just don't mix?
Yeah. Well, this is why Tesla's down 15%, because everyone's like, holy crap, Trump's about to nuke all these self-driving regulations, right?
But we knew the EV tax credits. I mean, that was not...
Okay, so hold on.
That was not unknown. I mean, we knew about this months ago.
Let's talk about that, because I do think Elon's being a little bit of a child here. Elon knew. Trump is not lying.
And I knew.
Trump's not lying when he said Elon knew the 7,500 was going away. Now, in Elon's defense, he's upset that the oil and gas subsidies are not also going away.
Regardless, two separate things. Everybody knew going into Q1 earnings, even all in. I believe Chamath did a whole segment on why it didn't matter for Tesla.
And he's right. It actually,
if I'm not mistaken.
No, I mean, well, there's a merit to the argument to say that this doesn't matter that much for Tesla. So I think Elon's kind of pulling at straws here, because it's like, you knew that Trump was going to help his oil buddies, but he was going to get you right on the self-driving stuff. So why are you complaining about this?
The EV credit thing was known. I knew this. So if I knew it, Elon had to have known this. So that was known.
It was weird, dude. It was weird that he was complaining about this. But to your point about the Democrats could have used this against Trump, here's my counter argument. What if very high profile Democrats, the Bill Clintons, yada, yada, are on that same list?
Yeah, look.
Then they wouldn't want a mutually assured destruction.
Here's what I know, okay? I know that I'm not on the list, and I don't know who is on the list. That's what I know. Nor do I really care who's on the list.
Well, no, I do. Look, if Elon accuses Trump of being on the list and Trump does not release the files, I don't think...
It doesn't look good.
It looks a little bit worse than good. Because if I wasn't on the list, I'd be like, release the freaking list. I'm not on it, right?
At the same time, I would have to think that the other party had some really smart people working, regardless of what people want to think or not. I really do think that the other side had some really smart people working on the campaign. And they knew that this was going to be close. This was not going to be a blowout. You had to think that they would use this is politics. Politics, they're going to use anything they can get their hands on.
But Steve, I hear you. But unless the high-ranking people that control the Democratic Party are on the list as well, they would have vetoed it, like a Bill Clinton.
But I mean, regardless of who's on it and who isn't on it, some of the people that may or may not be on it really aren't in power anymore.
Yeah, but it doesn't look good for Bill Clinton to officially be exposed, right? Like,
I don't know who's on it. All I know is that if he was on it, I think there would have been a way that it would have been known. I mean, what was in open court and what we had access to, I don't believe that he was ever in anything.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was okay. So let's dive deeper from a psychoanalytical perspective. And this is to the chat as well. Why do you think he dropped the nuke? Like, forget about the substance of what he said. Why do you
I think he's completely unhinged. I don't know the guy, but
you think he's on drugs? You think he's high?
I don't know. I would not have gone down this road.
I was talking to Derek today. He has hundreds of thousands of shares of Tesla. He was like, I think the guy might be high, and he's like, you know, when you're on drugs, you kind of get crazy. Like this, Steve. 2 days ago, he's in the White House with Trump saying he's the greatest president in the world. 3 days later, a week later, he's saying he's on the Epstein list.
Yeah, I mean, as a Tesla shareholder, and as an S&P index holder, and as an ETF holder that has a lot of indirect exposure to Tesla, I am not happy. Regardless of if you want Tesla to go down so you can buy it at a better price or not, forget today. Today does not matter. The long-lasting implications of going against the president of the United States is not good. You have robo-taxis that need regulation. You have robots coming. Tesla would be pretty smart if they got into the drone business. That would be a defense apparatus. It's just, I'm not happy as a Tesla shareholder right now. I haven't been happy as a Tesla shareholder for a while, but this is just another reason. And I just think it paints a picture that this guy is so erratic. I would not be surprised if there's calls for a vote to kick him out of the company at this point.
Oh, Elon just tweeted 1 minute ago. Here you go. Good advice. We won't decommission Dragon. Who's he responding to? Because Trump said that he might cancel some SpaceX contracts. Okay, so he's responding to this. So he's Elon said 5 hours ago, in light of president's statements about cancellation of my government contract, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. Someone says, this is a shame. This is back and forth. You are both better than this. Cool off and take a step back for a couple days. Good advice. Okay. Dude, what?
Look, for Elon to be responding to people he does not know, this is just...
No, what is happening, bro? Is he manic? Is he like, what is good advice? Okay, we won't do it. Like, is he going to come out tomorrow and say, oh, he's not actually on the Epstein list? I just made that up. Sorry. Like,
but I mean, look, does this make you feel good as a shareholder of Tesla?
Dude, if I had a significant amount of my net worth in Tesla and I didn't buy in 2019, I would feel a little.
I don't care if you only have one share of Tesla. This can't make you feel good. I mean, I've always said Jordan had the best response about being neutral, and going against either political party is just not smart. And let's not forget.
This is true. Elon reposting me was the top. That is true. That is so true. At least short term for Tesla.
And Amit, remember, he alienated his initial base because it's a pretty wide known fact that one side is more of a buyer of EVs than the other side.
You mean Democrats?
One side traditionally has bought more EVs than the other. Now, after alienating a decent part of his revenue base, he is now alienating a whole other side. It's just, this is not what you want from the CEO in charge of a major company.
Okay, what was your reaction to this? Because this, I think, got at Trump's soul. He said, without me, Trump would have lost this whole damn election.
He should have never said that.
Because look, here's the leftist critique of this, right? The leftist rich people suck critique. This is exactly what billionaires think. This is proving their argument. Billionaires think, hey, if I give you money, you get my shit done. With Trump, who's actually saying, no, actually, I don't care about your money. I'm going to do whatever I want. And the billionaire Elon getting mad. This is what people on the left say.
Here's what I will say to this. He should have never made this statement, regardless if he thinks this or not. He should have never made this statement. Okay. Trump won in 2016 without Elon. He got a lot of votes in 2020, and he very well could have won in 2024 without him.
I agree.
Elon's having a breakdown, and this is not good for Tesla shareholders. And that's what I'm really annoyed at the moment. And you shouldn't make statements that you can't prove. He cannot prove that he would have or would not have won without him. It certainly helped in one regard. There's also a lot of people that don't like Elon. So, I mean, this is just.
And then he said he should be impeached.
That's not going to help Tesla get any contracts or
not
SpaceX.
At all. Not at all.
Like, this is really unhinged. This is stuff that he should not be saying at all. I really dislike this. From a business standpoint, I do not think this is smart.
Okay, so have you seen any of Trump's reaction to this at all?
I've seen 2 of Trump's reactions.
Okay, so let's watch
I was watching Patrick Bet-David before I turned on the movie.
Okay, so let's watch a little bit of Trump's reaction, then we'll react to that as well.
Elon Musk and your big, beautiful bill. What's your reaction to that? Do you think it in any way hurts passage in the Senate, which of course, what is you're seeking?
Well, look, I've always liked Elon, and it's always very surprised. You saw the words he had for me, and he hasn't said anything about me that's bad. I'd rather have him criticize me than the bill, because the bill is incredible. It's the biggest cut in the history of our country. We've never cut. It's about 1.6 trillion in cuts. It's the biggest tax cut. You would say people's taxes will go way down, but it's the biggest tax cut in history. It's we are doing things in that bill that are unbelievable. And when you look at what we're doing for small businesses, for people, for middle income.
Breaking: Tesla has introduced 0% APR for new Cybertruck orders if you buy FSD. That is so bearish, in my opinion.
It's so bad. That is so bad. That is desperation. And I said to you, I think Q2 numbers are going to be bad. Oh my God.
Bro. Like,
Tesla's going under 200. You watch.
This is not as great if you were in the market for a freaking Cybertruck, but outside of that.
No, this is not good.
Granted, they're forcing you to buy FSD, so that's good. Now, granted, when I bought my Model Y, 2 weeks before I went to pick it up, I had to buy FSD, and then they took off the requirement because it wasn't incentivizing enough people. I wouldn't be surprised if they say, all right, scratch the FSD, just buy the car, we'll give you 0% APR.
I have a question. How many votes did Trump get in 2020? And how many votes did he get in 24?
The chat will know. I think 2020 was 70 million and 2024 was like 78 or 81 or something.
No, Biden got 81 in 2020.
Trump popular vote 2020. He got. Why doesn't Google do the overview thing? This is when I want them to do the overview. How many votes did Trump? Okay, see, here we go. Here's the overview. 74.2 million.
In 2020. And what did you get in 2024?
Do the overview thing, Google. How many votes did President Trump win? Granted, I'm speaking like gibberish here, but still, it's not figuring it out. 2024, he got 77.
All right, so a difference of 3 million.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that you can quantify that that's from Elon or not.
I would say a lot of Democrats, a lot of them in the Tesla community, that maybe wouldn't have voted at all because they hate, they never would have voted for Republican. They finally got, like Farzad. Farzad has publicly said he's been a Democrat his whole life, but he voted for Trump because, he believes in Elon's mission, all that stuff.
Yeah, I just don't think Elon should have said that. I don't, and I know it sounds like a broken record. I'm just shocked that somebody who is running several companies that depend on the government, not depend, but they're intertwined with the government. There's things they need the government for. You don't want to go after either political party. It's just crazy to me.
They said,
and I'd be saying the same thing if Biden was in office. If he said this about Biden and he was campaigning for Biden, and then there's a falling out or Harris.
Dude, he just responded to Bill Ackman. This guy is, he might be losing his mind a little bit, guys. And I say that respectfully, just because of how basically bipolar he's acting. Bill Ackman says, I support Trump and Elon, and they should make peace for the benefit of our great country. We are much stronger than apart. Elon says, you're not wrong. Elon, you said he was on the Epstein list. I don't think he wants to make peace with you.
Elon should just say his account was hacked at this point.
I think, did Elon look at the stock for the first time today? I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't go against Trump.
He should just say his account was hacked.
Honestly, that would be the better answer.
That would be the best answer. He should call Trump right now and be like, hey, my account was hacked. I don't know what the hell's going on.
No, but how do you say someone is on the Epstein list, literally curse them out all day publicly to 200 million followers, and then say, we should make up? This is manic behavior, bro. Like, and I don't know what to take away from that, but it's not like, I feel like he has his head in the right place in at least one direction.
It makes me question a lot of things about him running the business going forward.
Well, I think there might be some share. Now, look, I would never imagine Elon without Tesla, but you might have shareholders that say, hey, maybe he's turning more into a liability than an asset. Now, granted, I still think
people have felt like that for a while now.
Yeah, but this time, calling the president,
yeah,
I
don't care who the president is. You don't do that.
Yeah, this was aggressive today. This was great. Let's listen a little bit more to Trump, and we'll go from there.
I don't know well anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer. Said the best things. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything. And I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill. We call it a great, big, beautiful bill because that's what it is. And again, biggest tax cuts in history, biggest economic development moves anywhere. We've never done anything like it. Business is spurred. And I don't know if you've seen the numbers, but the numbers came out. Even the CBO, which is run by Democrats, said that we're going to be doing, I'd like you to discuss it, the 2.8 trillion, that CBO. This is a group of people that are.
Okay, we don't have to go through all that. But I do agree with when he says, hey, like if I was Trump, I would be like, dude, we were just together and you were saying I was one of the greatest presidents in history. How did you go from there to there that quickly? Like, I get Trump's point where he's like, I thought we were homies. Like, we don't have to work together anymore. You don't have to be part of Doge. You can go back to your companies, but I thought we were chill.
Look, regardless of that, you don't say somebody was on the list if you don't have proof. And
does Elon have proof? Do you think he knows somebody?
How would he have proof?
Because he's been close to everyone who's been close to Trump for the past 7 months.
So what?
Maybe someone told him, yeah, dude, he's on the. Maybe he got someone. Maybe he was drunk one night with one of Trump's sons, and they started talking, and Trump was like, yeah, he's on the list. I mean,
I just don't think that's something that you make an accusation of. One, two.
I agree. I wouldn't have made the acquisition ever if I didn't have proof. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't have proof, right? Unless
there's no way he didn't know what was in this bill. Now, one of the things that I think I saw, or something he alluded to that I do agree with, he said something about getting passed in the middle of the night. I mean, these bills are so long. Do you really think anybody reads these bills page by page?
No.
I think that's a problem. And that's not a this bill thing. This isn't every bill thing. I mean, there was one that was a couple of thousand pages. And it's like, how does anybody read that?
By the way, Tesla's up 3% after Elon said he and Trump should make up.
Great. It's already after it's down how much today? 14%? Who cares?
Dude, do you think there's any 4D chess behind everything that happened today?
No,
Like,
I think Elon had a breakdown. I think he
But-
snapped in that breakdown.
but break down off how?
I don't know. He's always been calculated. This does not add up for him.
I mean, he's always been a little erratic, but today was different, bro. Today was different. Like, this was different, bro. All right, so here's a question to the chat. In one word, just one, not two, one word. What was your reaction when you saw the tweet? What was the one word where you were like, oh boy, it's happening? Where you said you found out from a friend, right, Steve? Text from a friend.
Yeah, I mean, I had a bunch of texts about it.
Fabio says capitulated. Midwest Rob says sell. Drugs says Troy. Manipulation. Buy the dip. All right, that's more than one word, but still buy the dip. I was thinking of buying the dip at 290 and then went to 285. I was thinking about then went to 275. I was like, I'm not doing this. I don't know what's happening, bro. Now it's
But what's the reason that they would stage something of this proportion?
Also, shout out to Rocket Lab because Rocket Lab was perceived to get contracts if SpaceX contracts go away. What's the reason why they would stage something? No, I agree with you. It doesn't make sense to stage something like this. Not at all. I don't know, dude. I don't know. But maybe it's a story that dies out in like a couple of days and no one cares.
This isn't dying out.
All right, let me do the poll in the chat. How many people think this story has legs versus we'll forget about it in like a week? Let's see.
You have two of the most famous people in the world, and one of them is the sitting president of the United States.
Yeah, but
And the other one owns X. And this is just going to get regurgitated on X. I don't think this is dying out anytime soon. And what was up with Elon's black eye?
well, he said his son punched him in the face.
Okay.
Yeah. You're. I mean, I feel you. I'm questioning it too. I'm like,
And his son's how old?
his son's like 4 years old.
Exactly. You're not getting a black eye from a 4-year-old punching you in the face.
I mean, could it happen? Yeah. Is it
Sure. Could it happen? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I don't think his son is. Elon's like 260.
Yeah. It is. It's the strongest 5-year-old ever. That's fair.
I mean, he was training with Lex Friedman and GSP and some other people to fight Zuckerberg. So I'm sorry if I'm not buying that his 4-year-old son gave him a black eye.
Now he tweeted Team America. What is going on, bro? Like
I don't know. This does not get me excited to own anything that Elon is attached to.
it's just weird, bro. This whole day was just like, and now he's talking about should we create a third party? Look, I'm all for more representation and stuff that actually helps us. But if this guy couldn't get Doge to work, do we really think a third party has a chance to win the election? I mean, maybe if you want to be super optimistic, but if he could barely get through the bureaucracy of Congress to cut some spending, we think we're going to start a third party?
The third party has been tried. The only time it gained steam was with Ross Perot. Got like 19% of the vote.
Yeah, and look, if anything, this is going to help the Democrats win because you're definitely, I mean, like, there's not going to be that many Democrats that join the new political party. There'll probably be a ton of independents and Republicans, but the Democrats will still have 65 to 70 million.
I would love to see a third party emerge. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I agree.
Or not emerge. I don't think that they're going to have legs and they're going to have a real shot. I don't think enough people will venture over to a third party.
Shout out to Hoodie today, though. You saw that stock, Steve? 76.
Yeah, I saw it.
Not too bad.
And I saw people getting all excited about SoFi being up like 90 cents and then it just crashed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think it's due time for it to get back to 15, but
It's not going back to 15. Stop it.
I think it can go back to 15. I think it gets like
Okay.
it can happen. But my sister, bro, she has a lot of Robinhood. Like I bought her a lot. I bought her. She texted me today. She was just like, "What's happened?" My mom was like, "What's wrong with Robin?" I was like, "What do you mean what's wrong? It's going up." What do you mean it's wrong? If it was going down, that's an appropriate thing. It's like it's going up. Why are you? I was like, "This is why I told you not to sell." Like,
I hope she uses that money to buy a house.
my sister. Yeah, well, she's in the process next year, and
Good.
so yeah. But the point is, dude, she's never seen up 6 figures on an individual stock ever. You know, like it's it's great.
Phenomenal. Look, not many people ever get that, so that's phenomenal.
Okay, so let's do it. Let me do another poll to everyone. First of all, 54% of you said it will last long. 46% said we'll forget about it. Here's the next question, all right? Steve, give me 4 price targets I can put on a poll 1 year out for Tesla.
Okay.
1 year out Tesla
All right.
stock.
So where's that right now?
It's at 290.
375.
Okay, that's choice number 1.
1 year out, 475.
Okay, then we'll do
Have those be the 2 uppers.
150, right? And then we'll do 230.
Do like 210.
Okay. And then we need an ultimate bear case, like a bad, like
Yeah, 120.
Okay, 120. All right, there you go. Polls up. Let's see what you think. What do we got? Wait, what's your answer?
I think it's lower from here. I think it's at least 160, 170.
I'm gonna go with.
Like, I really think it goes lower, not higher from here. Their forward EPS is so bad. And after this, I don't know.
Oh, thank you for the $10 super chat. Either way, this seems bullish for Bitcoin. I mean, if we keep spending the way we're spending, then yeah, would be bullish for Bitcoin. I'm gonna go, dude. I want to go more so like 300. But I know that's not on the poll, but I would agree with like 210.
I just don't think it's going to go sideways from here. 300 would basically be sideways from here.
No, but I think it could go sideways, dude. I think it could. Like, there's enough dip buys.
I don't see it.
Okay, dude, you guys, we got some Tesla bulls, bro. 475, baby. Let's ramp it up. We got to buy the dip, bro.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. I mean, if this was all a little bit of a, little scuffle and things go back to normal and Trump gives him the regulations and Elon says, sorry, I love Trump. I don't care about the EV tax subsidy, whatever. And robotaxi works, which
look, they could completely make up, and I think Trump would act like nothing ever happened, regardless if it pisses him off or not, because that's just who he is.
No, because he's on the list and he wants to forget everything.
No.
Dude, if I was Trump and Elon apologized, I would take that apology immediately if I was on the list. Because it's like, all right, let's forget about it. Let's forget that never happened. Because why else would he take the apology? His ego is so. Why would Trump take Elon's apology right now?
Because there's no downside to doing so.
There's no downside to it. No, he gets to look like he's Elon's little bitch and he's being manipulated.
No, he gets to look like the bigger person.
When has Trump ever wanted to be the bigger person?
I'm not saying he wants to. I'm just saying there's no downside.
The dude's almost 80. Like, people don't change at this age. He doesn't want to be the bigger person.
There's no downside in accepting an apology.
I agree with you. But I think there's a world where he fights back at Elon. More likely than not, though, yes. I mean, if Elon actually like apologizes and tries to move on from this, I think Trump will want to put this under the rug because he knows Elon is still a big support. Like the influence that Elon has is still better, right?
Yeah, I mean, and to him, that's the biggest thing.
But this is his last term too, so like, he's not, like futures go green just now. I don't know, man. This is going to be a doozy. I kind of have a feeling though that this thing is over in like a week. Like,
hopefully it's over tomorrow.
The news moves quick, bro. It moves really quick. Like, there could be another story. I mean, like how at what point are we going to get tired of Elon and Trump going back and forth, right? Like at some point, we're going to be like, all right, whatever. They don't like each other. Well,
unless this just becomes a news story that gets clicks and nobody lets it die.
That's what my fear was for Palantir. And we got a new story today, folks. Here's what Trump said 5 hours ago. I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, 1.6 trillion. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a big tax increase. This puts our country on a path to greatness. Make America great again. So, and then he said, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted. That's insane. An EV mandate doesn't force you to buy electric cars that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. I will say, though, if they get rid of that $7,500 credit and interest rates don't come down, who's buying a Tesla? Like, realistically, who's buying? Like, I wouldn't have bought my Tesla if I didn't have that credit. Like, you're only the richest people are going to buy a Tesla, and they already have Teslas. So that's like, it's not bullish for sales. That's for sure. Tesla, though, it's up 4%. Dude, I love the stock market. I love the stock market.
It doesn't make any sense.
All right, out of about 1,100 votes, 475 is the winner. Well, 375 also has basically 20%, and 210 is 20%. Who bought the Tesla dip today? Put in the chat. Who bought the Tesla dip? Steve, we know you did, right?
No, I mean, my shares are going to get called away, and I could care less.
Wait, what's your strike on the shares?
260 September.
Bro,
They may not get called away, but I mean, I don't think I'm going to roll them. Q2 is going to be bad. Like, I am telling you, I was very, very, very close to the numbers for Q1. I'm waiting to see what the deliveries are, but I do not think Q2 is going to be good.
Ian said he bought. Scott said he bought some. Some of you guys bought TSLL. Nihar bought at 285. Dougie bought 100 shares. Al bought 300 calls. Dude, the puts were up like 5,000% today. It was crazy. Bunch of you guys saying you won't touch it. I do think there's gonna be dip buyers. I think it's gonna be dip buyers. All right, Steve, what was your reaction to this?
Know anything.
I have no idea what this
He's
is.
a know-it-all. He knows some engineering. Don't get me wrong. I give a hat tip for that, but he doesn't know anything about the real world. Doge was, for any fanboys that still exist, while you're wrapping up in your cape tonight, understand on Doge, he didn't find any fraud. There's plenty of fraud out there. This is President Trump's first complaint. Was this all BS? Right, with the Doge. The act that President Trump should be taking immediately, I think, when he threatens to take one of the big programs out of SpaceX, President Trump tonight should sign an executive order calling for the Defense Production Act to be called in SpaceX and seize SpaceX tonight before midnight. Know anything?
That's a bit aggressive. Elon says Bannon is peak retard. I mean, he also said, I don't know if you caught this tweet, but he also said that Elon should be deported today. He said,
For what?
so this is the quote he gave. He said, they should initiate a formal investigation of his immigration status because I am of the strong belief that he is an illegal alien and he should be deported from the country immediately.
I mean,
what's happening, bro?
why does any of this even get any press? It's just ridiculous. I mean, look, deported. How many employees does Tesla have?
I think 250,000.
Yeah, deport somebody that's creating that many jobs. That's a good idea.
No, it's absolutely ridiculous that he's saying it. But like, so here, okay, let's talk about this. So Trump's a loyalty guy, right? You go against the king, he goes against you. You know this. You run the mafia in New York, so you understand loyalty and all those.
Isn't everybody a loyalty person at the end of the day?
Yeah, well, I mean, but like with Trump, you go against him, you're done. And so my thing here is, who stays loyal? JD Vance is going to stay loyal. Basent probably loves this. Basent's going to stay loyal. Lutnick's going to stay loyal. Who? And I'm talking about congressmen, senators, House representatives. Like which out of them say, I'm going the Elon side versus the Trump side?
Well, I'll tell you, nobody in his cabinet is. Now, you may get congressmen and senators that do, but nobody in his immediate cabinet is.
Yeah, Steve runs the milkman mafia. That's facts. But like from a loyalty perspective, I wonder if someone like Elon stopped following Charlie Kirk today. Charlie Kirk's a conservative personality who's like super rah Trump. Does Kirk on his radio show that has millions of listeners, does he go against Elon or does he defend Trump? I'm curious, kind of how do these media personalities navigate this? Because they have, pretty aggressive allegiance to Trump, and they love Elon because he started supporting
But
Trump.
let me ask you this. If you were a Trump supporter pre-today, if Elon's no longer backing him, what changes in the beliefs that made you back Trump? It wasn't for Elon.
Agreed.
So I don't think that the media is going to do anything crazy and latch on to Elon.
Yeah, the only people that would flip are the people that were independent in the first place.
Yeah, I really wish this didn't happen because this is going to control the narrative for a little bit. And it's not needed.
It was a wild day. This was an absolutely wild day.
All I know is that Nvidia is so undervalued. It's crazy. Crazy. Do you know what their free cash flow margin was in Q1?
Okay, hold on. So let me wrap this up. Then we'll move on to stocks. So, all right, guys. So, I unless there's any other topics, I'll see in the chat. I think we pretty much covered the most. It's been 50 minutes. I don't think there's anything more we could really analyze. We can talk some stock stuff. We haven't talked to Steve in like 4 days. So, if there's not any other topic, I mean, like, I don't think there's any other angle to break this down. Divorce happened. Elon saying that they want to get back together right now. We'll see how that plays out. I do think in a couple of weeks the story dies out. I don't know if it really has legs. And the big beautiful bill will pass. Elon's going to get over it. I feel like he'll move on, and that's it. I think that's it. So Elon just tweeted again. Okay, we got to keep an eye on what Elon says. Besant did not resign. By the way, do you guys think Besant resigned? He did not resign. At least I didn't see he resigned. By the way, I have the best video ever about Misty. I have to show you, Steve.
Okay.
Is a really good video. Elon, okay, holy crap. Elon tweeted, what is this? Hold on. So this is a meme. Elon does ketamine, Trump on Epstein's list, X active users.
That doesn't even make sense.
Dude, what is going on, bro? Guys, Besant did not resign. What are you saying? Where are you getting this stuff from? There's no resign. He just tweeted like an hour ago. Yeah, he did not resign. That's not true. But yeah, this is a little bit of a weird post. But again, dude, this is another reaffirmation that Donald Trump is on the Epstein list. I mean, this is my point, bro. When you said, the Democrats would have used it against them, I think Biden knew he has some really good friends like Clinton who's on the list, and he doesn't want to do that to him. Because why wouldn't Biden have released it?
Biden wasn't running. It was Harris.
No, but during the 4 years of the administration, why didn't Biden put out the list?
Well, why hasn't the list come out, period?
Because a lot of the most important people throughout
history. That's not a reason for the list not to come out.
Of course, dude, they killed him in the jail cell. What do you mean it's not a reason for the list?
I'm just saying that's not a reason for it not to come out. It should come out.
No.
Government works for the people.
Okay. Obviously, in the perfect world, it should come out. But if there are higher powers than us that are stopping it from coming out for whatever way they're using it to not come out, that's why I think it's not coming out. Bill Gates. I mean, the reason his wife left him is because the dude's on the list. Like, we know this, right? You don't think Bill Gates, who has a lot of money, has some influence to make sure in any administration this list does not come out? Like, I'm not even being a conspiracy theorist there. That's just like one plus one.
Didn't his wife leave him because of his relationship with Epstein?
That's my point. So he's on the list, and he has a lot of money to make sure whether it's Trump, Biden, whoever's in office, will make sure that list does not come out.
Look, if there is a list, it should come out. If people are guilty, they should be prosecuted. End of story.
No, I agree with you. I think there's a reason why it's not, it has never come out. And if Trump's on that list, then it's not coming out either. Okay, cool. So let's talk about stocks. That's the end to the Elon Trump stuff. I'll talk about it more tomorrow in the market open. But let's talk about stocks. You know, Palantir at AIPCon. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. We spoke over the weekend, remember?
Oh yeah, I told you. So Palantir fell with Tesla today, kind of. Well, I didn't get to ask you this. What has been your general reaction to this New York Times evil surveillance company?
I don't even know what New York Times thing you're talking about.
Okay, so you have not cared about it at all.
No, I just don't know what it is.
I mean, they said Palantir is going to surveil Americans and make a master project database to kill them.
Everybody's already surveilled.
To an extent, yes.
Do you think that every keystroke you make isn't recorded? Like, come on.
No, I agree. But like the okay, so you haven't really kept up with it, dude. I've seen a lot of videos over the past week. Extreme leftists and extreme right-wing people have found a way to say Palantir is the scary company that we should all be afraid of because they are planning basically what I've heard is white genocide. And I'm just like, but like it is like they want to kill the population and usher in a new world order and stuff. And I'm like, I can understand why Karp's a bit pissed off as he was today, this morning. Did you even see his CNBC interview?
No.
Okay, it was a 35-second clip. He was obviously really heated this morning, but here's what Karp had to say. He was on an interview with a customer. I got to actually interview this customer later at AIPCon, and we were talking about the interview. And this guy's just standing there while Trump's going off, or while Karp's going off, and he was just like, "Yeah, that was pretty epic to just sit there while Karp, shames the media on this."
The Palantir platform, despite what you might read at the New York Times, is actually the most secure, the hardest platform in the world to manipulate and change. Of course, any technology can be abused. But if you wanted to abuse the technology, if you wanted to use the deep state to unlawfully surveil people, the last platform on the world you would pick is Palantir because of the granular way we segment and put together, and the security models and the access control models that are in Foundry natively, not a built-on addendum.
He went off even further in the full interview. But
did you get him to have those bricks in the background?
I might have pulled some strings.
There you go.
No, I'm just they've always had that background in the place where they do their AIPCon, so we've always had the bricks. The bricks have followed me my whole life, bro. Somehow, I don't know, but it's just been a theme in my life with these bricks. I was born in Newark, New Jersey. You know, it's called Brick City. Literally, Newark, New Jersey is called Brick City. Let's see if Gemini's any good. Is Newark, NJ called Brick City? Yeah, there you go. Dude, these AI overviews, let me tell you something. I've been using them a lot more. I was literally born in Brick City, bro. It's crazy. But, okay, so Nvidia. Why do you think Nvidia is still undervalued at 140?
It is. So I think the article that I wrote is going to come out tomorrow. It is so undervalued right here. Look at this chart. So remember what I said that it was going to go to 135 at the end of last week and it hit 135? And I said it's because the margins decreased and the growth rate is decreasing. I think people are not really looking at the cash flow statement. Their cash from operations is exploding. Their free cash flow is exploding. Their free cash flow had a margin of 59%, and their buybacks are skyrocketing. I mean, this business is throwing off so much cash. They're on pace. They may do 120, 130 billion in cash from operations this year. I mean, it is really something else. Never seen a company scale free cash flow the way that this company is.
But why is it undervalued at 140?
I will show you why.
Like, I agree with you, but it's not the same type of deal it was, a couple of weeks ago, I would imagine.
Oh, it's not the same type of deal it was a couple of weeks ago, but once again.
Yo, India is in bricks. That's a good point. That is a good point. Well, we'll talk about Circle and CoreWeave in a bit as well.
Would you rather buy Nvidia at 21.3 times forward earnings with more than 50% EPS growth over the next 2 years, or a company like Walmart or Costco that has a higher valuation, or even Tesla with a 75 forward valuation, or Apple at 23 times? I mean, everybody says you pay up for growth. That's all I continuously hear still since 2021. You pay up for growth. Okay, the analysts are projecting that Apple has 21% forward growth and it trades at a higher valuation. and Nvidia has more than double the growth of Apple. Like, it is still a very good deal, and these metrics could get slaughtered based off of how much their revenue and cash from operations increases over the next several quarters and how much they may increase their buybacks by.
Okay, so speaking of undervalued, the Googs, are you buying here?
Alphabet,
Yeah.
I think it's a great buy here. I really do.
No, that's not what I asked you, Mr. Fiorillo.
Oh, would you ask? Have I bought?
Yeah, have you taken your hard-earned money and put it into Google?
Well, I already own Google.
Well, see, that's not encouraging to me.
What do you mean that's not encouraging?
Because if it's deeply undervalued as a investor, you should want to allocate more of your capital.
Do I want to allocate more? Yes, but I have other things I'm buying.
See, this is the fact that you're not buying tells me you don't actually feel.
Would you like me to buy more Alphabet this week?
No, you don't feel. No, I'm teasing you here, but I don't think you feel fully comfortable with what's going on with Google. That's my point.
If I didn't feel comfortable, I'd sell my position.
No,
yes.
Dude, come on. If Google is the cheapest stock in the market, that's like a good company. It's freaking Google. Why would you not buy it at 10 times or 7
Well, that's pretty easy because I think Nvidia is going to have more capital appreciation than Alphabet over the next year.
Okay, but that's weird to me. Like, why Nvidia? Dude, Nvidia's at 3.5 trillion. Like, what? It's going to 6 trillion, 5 trillion? Where's it going?
Don't be surprised if it's close to 200 this time next year.
I don't know if Nvidia gets to 6 trillion in a year, bro.
I wouldn't be 6 trillion. It'd be like 5.25.
That's 2 trillion more than right now. Google.
Here's the one thing I'm convinced at. Every one of these companies is in a prisoner's dilemma, and there is so much demand that CoreWeave became a thing. We haven't even seen sovereign AI.
It was down 17% today. I didn't see that. I did not see that the whole day.
There's a whole robotics apparatus. Nvidia is creating a full services platform. There is a lot of potential, and I don't think the revenue is just going to be generated from compute. And the next wave of Blackwell Ultra, everybody is going to buy hand over fist. The demand outstrips supply, and everything they make, they're going to sell.
Okay, so you think the CoreWeaves, the Nebiuses, all that stuff, that is indicative of Nvidia demand, which would be
if the
more
demand
capital
wasn't there, those companies would not see the demand for data centers that they're saying.
But why does that mean Google doesn't get to like 20 times earnings?
I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying that out of the two, I think Nvidia is going to have more capital appreciation than Alphabet over the next year.
So you think Nvidia is going to double and Google's only going to get like 30 or 40%?
I didn't say it's going to double. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to 200 by this time next year.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either, but
you've had 3 earnings reports now, and it really hasn't done anything. You've had tremendous earnings reports. I think it's going to get bought up.
All right, that's fair. That is fair. But everyone I ask about Google, there's very few people I know that are like, Google's undervalued and I'm buying. Even I'm not. Like, I think it's undervalued, but I'm not really buying.
It can be undervalued, but there could be other things that may present more value. Like if you had to pick Amazon or Alphabet to put money into today, what are you buying?
How long am I holding?
A year.
I feel like I'd pick Google, dude.
Really? I would pick Amazon.
Okay, so I wanted to say Amazon, but then I put on my Steve spreadsheet hat on, and I'm like, how could you fade Google unless you at these values, unless you think that search is dead?
Which I don't.
So then why wouldn't you buy Google here? It's obviously cheaper than Amazon.
Because it is cheaper than Amazon, but I think Amazon has more potential for appreciation. I think that the market is going to penalize Alphabet until something goes wrong, and then it's really going to penalize it. Unfortunately, the narrative is too strong around search, even though it holds no weight. I think people are making it into something that Google's not going to be able to get away from, unfortunately.
All right, I'm putting in the chat, Google or Amazon, if you have to hold 1 year. Well, so no, I get your point, but so that's what I was waiting for you to say. I was waiting for you to say the narrative might still screw the stock, regardless.
Yeah, it could. Like on a numbers basis, it is tremendously undervalued. It is the most undervalued in the Mag 7. But 20% growth over the next 2 years isn't bad, but I think the narrative is going to take hold on this, and I just see other companies. I would even consider Microsoft over Alphabet at this point.
Okay, so by the way, we'll talk about this Andrew, but they raised another round of funding today, 2.5 billion.
Incredible. And it's incredible what he has done.
Dude, Founders Fund put in they put in $1 billion. Founders Fund never puts in $1 billion, bro. That is like, talk about conviction here. But okay, so here's my question. Here's my point, right? You said you might even buy Microsoft over Google. That means you don't think Google's undervalued. Because part of valuation is not numbers. You know this. It's narrative.
I know. I just think that the narrative around Alphabet is so toxic at the moment.
So then it's not undervalued. It's correctly getting a discount.
Undervalued from the numbers. I just think it's going to have a hard time breaking out, and some of these other stocks are going to have an easier time. If you're talking about 5 or 10 years, I'd buy Alphabet all day long. But for a year, I think it's going to take more than a year for the story around search to materialize.
Hold on. A decade from now, you would pick Google over Amazon?
That's not what I said.
You just said 5 to 10 years out, I would pick Google.
If we were talking 5 or 10 years, I would buy Alphabet hand over fist.
Okay, so let me rephrase the question. If we're 10 years from now, you're picking Amazon or Google over Amazon?
That's a hard question.
You just...
That's a hard question.
All right, am I going manic, right? Am I on Elon's ketamine? You guys just heard what happened, right? Like, it's not just me, right? Is the milk getting to Steve or something?
No, I mean, look, over the next 5 or 10 years, I think Alphabet's going to do really well. There are companies.
No. I'm not asking if it's going to do well. What do you pick 10 years out, Google or Amazon? Because I'm picking Amazon.
Yeah, I think I would pick Amazon also.
Okay, so
but that doesn't mean that Alphabet won't do well also.
That's not my question. My question is, you got to pick one for 10. I'm not trusting Sundar for a decade.
All right, so how about this? I would pick Alphabet over Apple at this point.
That's a no-brainer. I would do that too. I would do that too.
But I don't think I would pick Alphabet over Meta. I wouldn't pick them over Amazon or Nvidia.
61% of you said Amazon. Now, here's the thing. Sentiment is obviously anti-Google. This was Meta at 88, and I know there's unique differences, but we might wake up in a year, Google's at 250, and we're like, damn it. Like, why do we buy it?
And I wouldn't be surprising at all.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
I just think it's going to take longer than that for this to materialize.
What do you think is a fair price for Nvidia right now?
Right now as in tomorrow?
I feel like Nvidia is not.
Yeah, 165 I think is a good price for right now, because 165 puts them at 25 times 2027 earnings. So that's just slightly above Apple and Amazon. And I think it deserves a little bit of a more premium than Amazon. Look, I think all of these stocks are beaten up, and they all deserve a bigger multiple because of their balance sheets, because of their profitability, and because of their growth. But I think 165 is a good number for Nvidia. And even at 190, it's still less than 30 times forward earnings. That's why I think in the next year, as Nvidia expands revenue and as it expands profitability, I think it can make a run at 200.
Bro, well, I think that's fair. I'm looking at Elon's responses. He's responding to these memes. Oh my goodness. The real answer is Tesla, though, right? We hold Tesla the next decade compared to everything, right? That's the real answer.
If you have money you don't care about, sure.
No, even if you're taking a big risk, right? It's Tesla 10 years from now. Right? It's Tesla. Like,
I mean, I want to say agree with you on that.
I know.
It's just hard. I mean, I was never a robo-taxi person. The bots was always the thing. But this may screw the robo-taxi thing.
Again, I think we got to give it a couple of days or at least a couple of weeks. I kind of feel like it'll be.
We do, but this is not good.
You know. Okay, so let's talk. By the way, the top 10 stocks that were traded in the stock market today in the options part of the market. Tesla, 7.3 million contracts, bro. Nvidia, 3 million. Palantir, 1.2. Apple, 975. Amazon, 840. Why is Bank of America
I was just going to ask the same thing.
Can anyone tell me why Bank of America was traded today this much?
Because it's more exciting than SoFi.
Yo, we haven't talked publicly about our thoughts on the debate. We haven't given our, maybe we need to talk about the debate. CoreWeave 746, Robinhood 631, MSTR 571, Broadcom was down 4% after hours, 506 as well. Yeah, what do you think, bro? You think we won the debate? What do you think?
I don't think it needs to be discussed.
So you don't want to discuss it?
I don't think it needs to be discussed. I think, anybody who watches it is going to see what happened, and I don't think it needs to be discussed.
Okay, I've already given my thoughts, so it's nothing crazy. Look, I think it was a good discussion. It was a win for retail. I disagree with DDI when he said we focus too much on the stock price. I did not understand that argument at all. And I said this to him publicly. I was like, dude, for an hour, I gave Steve and I made arguments. You and Tanner made your arguments. And then we got into a discussion of why is the market not respecting the company? Why are they not giving them the multiple, tech multiple, higher multiple, growth multiple, whatever you want to call it? And that was a really important discussion. So I think that was a very important thing to get to a broader holistic sense of what's going on with SoFi. And then number two, if SoFi was $25, we would not have this debate. So like not talking about the stock, I'm like, dude, the whole point is that SoFi is not getting a multiple. So of course we got to talk about the stock. So I didn't really understand his angle there. But outside of that, I thought it was a good discussion. I was happy that 4 people, I didn't even want to do it. But he asked me again that same day. And then that's when I called you up and I was like, let's just do it. And I think it was a win. I think most people got a really good discussion from it, which wasn't horrible. Now, granted, I do think SoFi, given it had a little bit of a run today, if we get a super bull market, Steve, I think this thing could run back to 15 pretty easily. I don't think it has to be stuck.
They need what SoFi needs to happen is they need rate cuts. They need to expand the loan book and expand financial services, expand the deposits on the balance sheet to expand book value. Because guess what? It's a bank. Period. It's not even debatable. It is a bank that uses technology to create consumer-facing products. And when you look at any ETF, what is it going to say? Information services or financials? It's going to say financials. Does it have a banking charter? Yes. Does just about every line of business that they generate revenue from come from financial services that traditional banks utilize? Okay,
here's a good question. Would you, and everyone say it in the chat, just give me your ticker, and then we'll talk about Robinhood. 1 year out, would you rather buy SoFi today or Tesla? That's a hard one. That's not an easy. I don't think it's as easy as people think. I still think I'd pick Tesla, but dude, SoFi is a year. You don't think this gets to like $20? Like,
no. I'd have to go with Tesla on the shot that the market just doesn't care about this.
You actually do hate SoFi to pick Tesla.
I don't hate them. It's just the AWS of fintech's not happening anytime soon from what it looks like.
But so you think it can't get a multiple outside of that AWS fintech thing?
Yeah, it can get a multiple, but it's not going to get the multiple that I thought it was going to get. And it's not going to, look, banks, there's not a single bank that trades at 4 or 5x that I know of book value.
You're right. You're not wrong on that. You're not wrong.
And unfortunately, banks are valued differently than other companies because they lend off their balance sheets. It is everything that I said in the discussion that we had with Tanner and Chris. And regardless if you think it's a tech company or not, what we believe does not matter. The market is showing us how it is valuing SoFi. And from day one, I have always said that in order for SoFi to get a larger multiple, it's going to need to show the market that it can cross-sell its tech platform and generate revenue from its competitors and power their infrastructure. Otherwise, it is a financial institution. And at the end of the day, if I want to own a financial institution, I can go get one that pays me a nice dividend. So, I want to see the AWS of fintech materialize. I want to see them get some big RFP wins. I don't think they talk about it enough. And in order for them to be valued as a different type of company, I think they need to significantly increase their revenue from technology products. So that's where I'm going to leave that.
Okay, so let's talk about Hoodie. You think we get into the S&P tomorrow?
I have no idea.
What do you guys think? Do we get in? Do we get into the S&P? Dude, I want to say yes based on this price action, but sometimes this shit is a letdown, bro.
I mean, what other companies could potentially get in?
TTD.
Trade Desk.
AppLovin. There's a couple other companies I'm forgetting, but there's like 7 of them or 10 of them that could get in.
I think Hood's got a good shot.
I think Hood has the fucking best shot, bro.
Hood's got a good shot.
I think Josh says it's 50-50. Okay, so here's the thing. If we don't get in, you guys better be ready for 60, bro. You guys better be ready for 60. If we don't get in, at least 65. Minimum 65. If we do get in, I don't know if everyone's saying 85. I'm like, dude, we already made a pretty big move. So I don't know if we have to, but I think 78, 79, I could see that happening. So I'm not going to hold my breath, but if they do get in, it would be really exciting. It really would be. But I just don't know, dude. Obviously the market's acting like it's going to happen.
Look, hopefully for everybody who owns it, it does. Dude, I think it would be a big step.
Robinhood year to date is now up 83%.
That's awesome.
I mean, talk about just like having a year. And oh, did you hear today? 3 million people on their credit card list.
That's great.
3 million freaking people they announced are on the credit card wait list. Equities, options, margin balances, AUC, all-time highs in the month of April. IBKR could get in as well. Yeah, they could get in. Which it wouldn't shock me if IB like how are they not in the S&P 500? So SoFi can't get in. They're I think like 4 billion away. What's their market cap? You need to be 20. SoFi's at 15. They're 5 billion away from the requirement. They could get into the 400 though, S&P 400. But dude, now everyone complaining that there's 3 million people on the wait list. I've said this over and over and over again. I don't understand how people don't get this argument. Credit cards are complicated to underwrite. And if you underwrite it incorrectly, you're going to have a lot of defaults and delinquencies. Hood has 200,000 people with the card. They have 2.8 million people like that could get the card tomorrow. But that would be stupid because that would be a lot of risk to take on for no reason. So I think gradually over the next couple of years, they're going to have millions of, even Robbie, the head of the credit card, he said this at the Investor Day. He said it's happening slow, but it will be exponential. But you've got to give them the time to figure out the underwriting and get the unit economics right. But the point is, that's not what you should be focusing on. What you should be focusing on is that 3 million is going to be 4 million in probably a year. And it's the biggest cost on credit cards is CAC, customer acquisition. So if you can get 4 or 5 million people on a wait list and then immediately sign them up, I mean, that credit card, it's doing 40 million already. That thing could be doing 400 million in the next couple of years, just in terms of revenue. Obviously, it's going to take more time than that. I don't want them to rush into it, but the point is, this is what the street pays a multiple for. This like insane level of growth, and it's hard to allocate capital in other places when you have that type of growth. How do they choose? I don't know. I don't know what their algorithms tell them to do, what their geographies or demographics look like, but they're trying to get people from all different economic classes. And, it's probably a complicated formula, but it's going to take time for this to play out. Are you texting your milk dealer right now?
No, I'm not. It's not Saturday.
Dude, is that every Saturday? That's what you do?
Yeah, the text goes out on Saturday.
Every freaking Saturday, bro.
I need my stuff. And it's not just that. I get my fresh garlic. I get a bunch of stuff from the market. I should start a whole cooking channel is what I should do.
Put in the chat if Steve should start a cooking channel.
I think I should.
Okay, Circle. So did you know about this IPO?
Yeah, I heard that people were trying to say the XRP was trying to buy them at some point.
Why didn't you buy into this IPO?
I don't know. Why didn't you buy into the IPO?
I actually tried, but I missed the deadline.
Okay.
So you just didn't care?
Nope.
I knew it was going to pop, bro. I said it for the past 3 days. Like, this thing's going to pop. And it freaking popped. I was at AIPCon. I see the IPO. It pops 200%. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I figured this would be right up your alley.
I would have sold it immediately if I had it. Like, but it felt like it was going to pop. What does Steve think about HIMS? Yeah, what do you think about HIMS?
I mean, look, when I looked at it, I thought it was very interesting.
You know, I have shares now.
You bought it
at 500. Yeah.
You bought 500. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. It seems like a lot of people are using it. It seems like it's making all the right moves. It's got good financials. It's got good forward growth. Limited. I mean, balance sheet was really good. I like it.
So if that's the case, why aren't you buying it?
I have other things I'm doing with my money right now.
This is I don't like this from you.
What? I told you what I was buying.
You say you're bullish XRP, you don't buy. You say you're bullish.
I have a position in it.
Your position is $2, Steve. Like, that's not a position. Okay, we're not calling that a position. I don't care if you got it at 0.00001 cents. I don't care. You say you like Google, you don't buy it. Like,
I have a position in
say
it.
You don't like the stock.
I have a position in it. I just bought Misty. I just bought NVDY. I'm buying a few other things. I'm probably going to add. I'm really thinking about adding a good amount of Misty and NVDY.
Dude, you're getting convinced, right?
I'm getting so convinced on the numbers.
There's a 15-minute video. Maybe we can watch at the end of this of this guy who like explains it in the most like the best way. He's really entertaining when he explains it. I was like, it makes sense. Now it can go bust if MSTR goes bust. That's the risk you take, but it could still.
Yeah, obviously. Look, it's a play on Bitcoin.
Yes, well, it's a play on MSTR, which is super levered against Bitcoin too. So.
Right.
Misty's. Oh, they pay the dividend tomorrow? Okay, cool. So we're getting our. Are you going to drip? Are you going to reinvest the dividend, Steve?
So I forgot to turn it off. So the first month is getting dripped.
I'm going to do it as well too.
But I am. See, I don't know. I may just drip everything. I don't know. I was originally going to take the cash until I get my initial investment back. But I may drip it for a little bit. We'll see.
You know the street definition of drip, right?
The street definition?
Yeah, of drip.
What is the street definition?
Like if you got that drip on you, you know?
Okay.
It means you can dress, you have good clothes. The Migos used it in a song, drip.
Okay.
Anyway.
The numbers are really interesting. And I think NVDY may have bottomed based on what I think Nvidia is going to do. And I think it was very interesting time to buy it.
Okay. What other stocks are you guys thinking about? Any stocks that you guys want? Any thoughts or opinions on? Oh, okay. So Steve's interested in this new REIT. We can talk about that on a market close. We'll go deeper into that in the numbers.
Yeah, we don't have enough time tonight, but we can do that tomorrow.
I'm still bullish grab, dude. In my Roth IRA, Steve, I did the responsible thing, bro. In my Roth, I bought 75 call contracts of grab, $7.
Oh yeah, that's real responsible.
Super responsible.
Super responsible.
Dude, look at that thing, bro.
Have you bought a single share of S&P yet?
Well, we don't need to talk about.
Oh, we don't need to talk about that. Oh, okay.
It's up 1,200, bro.
All right.
S&P is not going to get you up 1,200 in 48 hours. I'm just saying.
I mean, it depends how much you own. Depends how much you own.
No, but look, it's a $7 call for 2.5 years out. Like, I think it's above. If it's not above 7 by December 2027, the thesis was just wrong. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, we should give Chris and Matt some.
No, but you own this. You own VG, right?
I did not buy it.
See, this is what I'm talking about, folks. I didn't buy it because I don't understand natural gas. And honestly, I was close to buying a couple thousand shares just because Chris was bullish on it. But then I bought more Robinhood. I forgot about it. You like this thing, but you still didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, I didn't. I like a lot of it. I just didn't pull the trigger.
How did you get married, bro? It feels like you're indecisive.
Very
Like,
indecisive.
how did you pick one lady to spend the rest of your life with, dude? I mean,
that was pretty easy.
See, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. That's a good. She should listen to. Does she ever listen to these ever?
No.
She never listens to.
No.
Has she ever heard you on a stream?
No, probably not.
You've never said, "Hey, honey, you want to hear?"
She has no interest.
But what does she think you're doing right now? She just thinks you're like just working.
No, I told her I was going on a stream.
So she doesn't care to be like, "Hey, I want to hear my husband talk."
No, she's watching TV.
To be honest, that makes sense. I mean, why would she care? But still.
Listen, she picks better stocks than me. She doesn't need to listen to this.
That's true. She got Meta. She got a lot of these different names. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead.
Are we buying Ives?
Okay, let's talk about that, and then we'll throw out some tickers that you guys have, and we'll think. I don't love this at all. I'm not saying it's a top, and I think this ETF will be okay. But I'll pull up the names in the ETF.
So, all right, how about this? Ives or Joe T? Which one do you buy if you have to buy one?
I buy Ives.
And you know what Joe T is, right?
And it's momentum stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I buy Ives, dude, because he's just it's all big tech. There's two reasons I don't like it. Number one, why is he doing this in the middle of the bull market? Like, he should have done this in 2023. I know he's saying it's 10 p.m. at the party, but buying Palantir at 1:30 is not necessarily 10 p.m. Now, it might be 10 p.m. if Palantir goes to $1 trillion, and if he thinks there's $1 trillion in 2 years, sure. But I don't think it's the most strategic time for the ETF. Number two, why not just buy the NASDAQ? Like what do we get from this?
It's just super concentration. Because the NASDAQ has got Pepsi and stuff like that in it.
Yeah, I get it. But look, if I literally just wanted to go long AI, I wouldn't mind buying the Ives ETF. But I'm also just like, there's some stuff in there I don't know if I want to own. And so, are you buying it?
I don't think so. I think the stuff that I want to buy in it, I probably already own, and I don't know.
It's also not actively managed. I heard him talking about it today. He's like, we might adjust here and there. Tom Lee's actively managing granny shots. Like if something's happening in the market, they will change. Ives is just gonna. Here's the list. He's just going to go long on his companies, which honestly is probably the best strategy. But if you're buying an ETF, you kind of want a little bit more safety in certain areas, right?
I mean, I like the holdings. I mean, you can't go wrong with those holdings. I mean, really think about that.
Nvidia, Microsoft, Broadcom, Tesla, TSM, Meta, Palantir, Amazon, Google, IBM, Apple, Oracle, Baba, AMD, ServiceNow, Micron, Palo Alto, Salesforce, Adobe, Snowflake. I don't have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it.
I just don't see the appeal of buying this over buying them individually or buying the NASDAQ.
And Taiwan Semi is freaking. I think we should be buying that.
Yeah, I like granny shots a little bit more, but at 0.2, it's okay. 0.72%. For someone who's not going to do anything with the portfolio and just buy and hold, that feels a little aggressive. Like, you and me are paying 1% to Misty, and they're actively giving us almost 7%.
I mean, for a 0.72% ratio, if they're not going to actively manage it, just go buy every company he has in that thing and don't pay a management fee.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's put some tickers on the board. Have you looked at Lemonade at all?
No.
A lot of people are thinking about Lemonade on Twitter right now.
Yeah, I was looking at Oscar Health the other day. Again.
The numbers are good.
I agree.
TLT, buying that yet?
Yeah, that's a winner. No, because I don't think they're cutting in June or July, so I'm not buying it yet.
Okay.
I'm going to press my luck and hope I'm right, and I'll probably start buying it in July, heading into Jackson Hole.
I didn't see the Broadcom numbers. I think they beat, but the stock was down. Do you care about Broadcom at all?
I absolutely care about Broadcom.
Would you buy it?
Absolutely.
Guys, that means he's not. That means he's never buying this shit, bro. This is what, dude. Next time you tell me you're not buying something, I will realize you're probably going to buy it.
You asked if I would, not if I'm going to. It's two different things.
That's true. That's true. I did a different.
You got to be very specific. We're talking about GameStop.
Let's talk about GameStop.
I mean, have you looked at their balance sheet?
They have a lot of cash. Yes.
Like, I was looking at this today, actually, because I was like, why is this back at 30? And I was like, oh, it's actually profitable. I mean, they've been profitable for the past 3 quarters on a net basis and on a free cash flow basis for the past 3 quarters also. In addition to having $4.77 billion in cash and $6.6 million in long-term debt. Like, I would not be surprised if this becomes a Bitcoin / holding company for something, and if people bid this up again.
I'm not buying GameStop. You can buy it, but
I didn't say I was buying it.
oh, we know you're not buying. You don't buy anything. We know.
I'm not buying GameStop. I'm just saying that the numbers are not what you would think a meme stock would be. That's all.
Are you into data centers as CEG, the Meta deal? That felt kind of bullish, right?
Yeah, I mean, nuclear is where we should have been. So
I don't know enough about MetaPlanet, although I know the Japanese are
I don't
absolutely
even know what
loving
that
it.
is.
It's like a Japanese MicroStrategy. It's just like 10x leverage. It's aggressive, but I'm not buying that. OKC 89, Pacers 77. OKC is winning the series. I think we all
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard to get beat. Okay, so
yeah. Lily, buying that, or you thinking of that one at all?
no. I mean, look, my plays are different in that sector. I like Pfizer here in Bristol Myers and AbbVie.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on the Martin Shkreli interview that I did about quantum?
Yeah, I think he's right. I think he's 100% correct.
Why?
He articulates it a lot better than I do.
But why do you think all quantum stocks are going to zero?
Well, I just don't think that these companies, and once again, I could be wrong. Okay, I've been wrong on a lot of things. I could be wrong on this, but it's hard for me to comprehend how Alphabet or IBM that can throw blank checks at R&D and have the technology are going to get one-upped by one of these companies. I also think that Shkreli's correct, where even if somebody does crack the code, there's no market for this. So I'm not a quantum person, and I think it's going to be one of the bigger companies that does it.
I think that's fair. I'm going to get a bull on Monday to give me the bull case for it.
I mean, think about it like this. What do you need to advance quantum and crack quantum? You need chips, you need data centers, you need cash, you need infrastructure, and you need software and code, correct?
Yeah.
So how is that bullish for any of those small companies? You're telling me that they can get more chips than IBM or Alphabet?
No, it's fair.
Like, you're telling me that they can write more software or do something better than them? It's very hard for me to get behind that.
We got breaking news.
Oh, God.
JD Vance tweeted, President Trump has done more than any person in my lifetime to earn the trust of the movement he leads. I'm proud to stand beside him. Dude, talk about getting on your knees and just freaking opening up, bro. My goodness, dude.
I told you the cabinet was going to get behind him.
I mean, we knew this was going to happen, but like, it's just so explicit, bro. Like, holy crap. There you go. He picked his side. I mean, like he's not going to pick Elon.
No.
He's picking Trump.
Here's the real question. What's Sachs going to say?
Oh, I can't wait for
all in this week.
Okay. What do you think he's going to go bullish Elon or Trump?
I'm going to be so mad if All In was recorded this morning before this happened.
No, Jason, he confirmed today. They're gonna talk about it.
I don't know, man.
Look, I think he picks Elon.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Or they can pussy out and just freaking play both sides, which they're probably going to try to do, but that's not going to be fun.
It's going to be interesting to see what Sachs has to say about this.
The thing is, he can't not pick Trump too, because he's the crypto AI czar. Like, he can't he can't explicitly be like, I stand 100% with Elon. Elon's not even explicitly standing 100% with Elon, given all these tweets. Like, so he's going to have to play both sides. Now, J-Cal is going to town on Trump.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a go. It's going to be interesting where Chamath stands.
Can we talk about how Chamath is one of the biggest douchebags on this planet, dude?
I don't know. I don't think that's a fair statement to say.
I think this guy is the most cocky, arrogant person I've seen in my life. He's been making these ridiculous tweets, and people have been rightfully calling him out on this. Chamath's response, you probably didn't see it. He said, hey, for all the people that like rage post, I believe that you are angry when you aren't where you want to be yet in life. Now, look, there is truth to the argument that people who are upset at themselves in their own life, they blame other people. Like, that's just like common sense, right? Most people that are really miserable, they find something to blame. However, when there's a reason for someone to be blamed, aka you bankrupted millions of retail shareholders, and if his argument is like personal accountability, it's like, dude, where's your personal accountability for dumping Virgin Galactic and SoFi and Open Door on all these retail investors that didn't know any better? Like, that's what he did. They didn't know any better.
Did you see Chamath on Rogan?
A long time ago, probably.
That was a great interview.
Look, he's a very intellectual guy, and I love listening to him. But he has yet to, in my opinion, take...
What he did with the wine company was so hilarious.
I don't know what you're talking about. But
you don't know what I'm talking about that?
I don't even care, because my point here is he has never taken real accountability. He's never just said, I'm sorry. He's never said, I'm sorry for scamming everyone into thinking that these were legit companies when they weren't. They just weren't. Most of them are the only one standing is SoFi. The only one. So, like, I think you can't get mad at people and be like, oh, your life sucks, that's why you hate the world, when there's a legit reason they're mad at you and you're ignoring the honesty of their critique. Like, when people critique me, I try to figure out, hey, is there a reason that they're upset, or is it just like they're trolling? And a lot of times it's trolling, but there are sometimes I have to look myself in the mirror and be like, no, I messed up there. Like, I need to reframe how I think about things, because that's a legit critique. And if you don't lose a little bit of sleep overnight over the public critiquing some parts of your personality, if you just have that thick of a skin where you just don't care, then you're a psychopath. Like, you need to care about, to some extent, what people think of you.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you do. Now, you may not care about what anyone thinks, but if every time you got on stream and you were just being like, I don't know, you came off as a dick, people wouldn't want to listen to you all the time. And
look, it's one thing on how you present yourself, but there's a lot of people that have thick skins that really say what they mean, and people can take it for what it is, and they don't lose sleep overnight.
No, I have a very thick skin. My skin is so thick, if you saw it at a club, you would ask for its number. Okay, so it's not a question about thick skin.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that absolutely does.
Say that again.
My skin is so thick, if you saw it at a club, you would ask for its number.
That does not make sense.
Do you know what thick means?
Yes, I do. It doesn't make sense.
It absolutely makes sense. Anyway, the point is, if every time I brought you on the stream and the chat was like, dude, not this guy, he's like, we hate listening to Steve Yacht, and I told you, Steve, like, there's something about your personality that people aren't vibing with, you're telling me, oh, screw them. Then I would be like, Steve, you can't come on the show anymore, because if everyone hates you,
if people didn't want to listen to me, that's fine. You don't have me on. That's fine.
I know, but see, there's a difference. So, like, when Chris comes on the stream, right? There's a lot of people that just don't like listening to him for whatever reason. But Chris is very valuable. He gives a lot of information, and Chris is not trying to be a dick. He's just being himself, right? And that pisses some people off. That's whatever. There's a difference between that and then someone who's just legit, like, being a bad person, right? And you can tell in their personality, which is what Chamath did with these SPACs. And if you give them legit criticism, be like, yo, dude, like, the audience is not messing with you. Like, you're not vibing with people, and it's like 90% of them, and you don't take that seriously and adjust or change, which I don't think Chamath has changed at all, given he's trying to dump private equity on retail now. I mean, come on, bro.
So can we talk about private equity?
We should talk about private equity.
I have a pet peeve with the whole idea around certain people get to invest in private companies and others don't. It really annoys me because you know what? To say that people are, regardless of how much money you make, not intelligent enough to invest their money in private equity is ridiculous. Because you know what? People can go buy all the lotto tickets they want and burn all their money with lotto tickets, or go to the casino and gamble and lose their money. They can lose their money in the stock market. Let people invest in startups. Like it is crazy that we have safeguards on investing in companies at an early stage. It is absolutely crazy.
Okay, so I don't disagree with you, but let's get juicier with it. You agree that Chamath, from the altruism of his billionaire heart, wants retail to participate in his private equity offerings? Is that what you're telling me?
That's not what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is
No, that's my question. Why do you think he
should be allowed, regardless of how much money they make, to invest in pre-stage companies?
Agreed. Why do you think Chamath's offering it to retail?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I have no idea.
Why are you defending the guy? What, he's paying you or
I'm
something?
not defending the guy. I'm just not answering.
Are you afraid that you want to do an interview with him one day or something? Or like, what's going on here?
I'd like to shoot craps with the guy.
Look, I would like to do a podcast with him one day. But my point is, out of nowhere,
when I found out that he plays craps, he would probably be fun on the craps table.
He probably would be. And I'm sure he's a great human when you like interact with him interpersonally. But there is also a public persona that you have to keep up, especially when you're as rich as him and as influential. And out of nowhere, he decides, hey, retail, I've got a brand new offering for you. All these private equity companies, which Apollo, Blackstone, KKR, all of them are down 20% year to date. Why? Because private equity is having some issues right now. And then suddenly, little PE firm popping up, and then he's saying, oh, I'll get you into Andrew, I'll get you into SpaceX. Yeah, get me into SpaceX at $350 billion, thanks. Like, no, he's going to get you into some shitty private equity companies that he's going to pump up. Obviously, why else would you offer it to the public?
What's annoying is that people who wanted to invest in these companies did not have an avenue to, and we shouldn't be gatekeeping those types of investments. And setting up an ETF is not a good idea, regardless if it's him or Kathy or any of those other ones, because you know what? There could be a bunch of companies in there that you don't want to invest in, but it's your only way to get access to Andrew or Stripe or something. It's just ridiculous that there's a whole secondary market that is out there for people of a certain income level. I think it's just insane.
Well, that's what Robin is trying to change with tokenization. They're trying to, really democratize it via crypto. I agree. Look, you shouldn't have to be accredited to buy space.
I think it's insulting that there is a accredited standard. I really do.
I agree, dude. Like,
I think it is absolutely insulting.
It's also a definition from 2012, and so it's an outdated way to think of accreditation. I agree with you 100%. You're not saying anything controversial. I'm just saying
it's not controversial. I will die on this hill. It is insulting that anybody can tell somebody what to do with their money. It is horrible. It's just like when I went to the bank the other day. I'm not going to name the bank, so you already know that. No, SoFi doesn't have physical locations. It's not SoFi. I'm not going to name the bank, but the fact that they asked me why I needed the amount of cash I was withdrawing was absolutely insane. It annoyed the hell out of me because it's none of their business. And when I told them it's none of their business, they actually had the audacity to say to me, we have to ask and we have to give the computer an answer because it's coming up on the computer screen.
Okay, but hold on. That's not their fault. That's banking regulations.
No, I get that. But there's no reason why any bank that I should have to give an answer to take out my own money.
I agree.
I told them put not applicable. That's what I told them to put. They looked at me like I was nuts. I said, I'm sorry, put not applicable. I'm closing all my accounts. I'm going across the street.
I would have given them a funny answer. I would have been like, I'm going to buy ice cream or something. Or like, is that what I need 50,000 to buy some ice cream, right? It's like, because then if they asked you the quality of your answer, if they questioned the audacity of your it would have been like,
no, I didn't.
I want some ice cream.
I didn't want to give them a smart ass answer. It's just, I think it's offensive that I choose them as one of my banks. I need to take cash out of a certain account that was there. It doesn't matter why, it's my money.
I would have said I'm going to a strip club. That would have been hilarious, bro. Because what are they going to do? They can't stop me from taking out money to go to the strip club. Like, can a bank legally do that? Can they stop?
I have no idea. I think they wanted to make sure I wasn't being coerced.
Yeah, I agree. Look, that's
like there was nobody in the bank with me. Like I'm obviously not being coerced. I don't know. It's just it's so annoying.
What annoys me is whenever I wire money, Bank of America charges a $30 fee. I'm like, bro, $30 to just wire money is ridiculous.
Who are you wiring money to that you have to pay unless you're going overseas?
So I made 2 private investments this year, and
so that's different though.
But wiring $30 to wire an investment.
Why didn't you just go get a certified check and overnight it?
Dude, who sends a check for that?
All right, well then you got to pay the fee.
You still use checks?
Sometimes certified checks come in handy.
Who in the chat uses a check at least once a month? I haven't used the check in, I think it's been a couple years, bro. I'm withdrawing $50K to rob your bank. Dude, the lady would have been like, security.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing is annoying, and then the whole accredited investing thing is annoying. And I just think that too many people are being gatekept, and it's just horrible.
Oh, by the way, guys, I have a confession. Okay, so this morning I went to pay my student loans last night. I went to put in $500 in my monthly payment, and it said my loans were paid off. It said account balance 00, right? I check it this morning again. I'm like, dude, someone paid off my $4,500 in student loans. Apparently, the loan was transferred to someone else. Now, I know everyone's going to be like, we told you in the chat, no one was paying for you. This wasn't the universe yet. I went on this rant like, guys, if you do good, someone's going to do good for you one day. And I was like, it was this big moment. No, dude, they transferred it to someone else. But see, the problem here is who the fuck checks the student loan notifications? I check my email, okay? They didn't send it to my email. I had to go into the notification and click it. And on May 14th, it was like, hey, your loan's being transferred. So, yeah, I'm still on the hook for $4,500. But who did, like, how did they not send me an email, bro? They expected me to check my student loan notification. Who does that stuff? Like, I log in to pay the bill. That's it. I don't browse around the website for notifications. So, yeah, no one paid off my student loans. So, yeah, it was a little embarrassing, but
at least you paid $500, so at least you only have $4,000 now.
Yeah, but it's just like I was drunk off Shirley Temples last night at a bar, and I was like, I log in my student loans, and I'm like,
you were drinking last night?
I was drinking Shirley Temples. That was correct. 2 of them. Yeah. You ever had a Shirley Temple?
No.
It'll get you.
I'm assuming they're close to being a strawberry daiquiri, though.
No, it's just Sprite with a little bit of flavoring.
Oh, no.
It'll get you there. It'll get you there.
It'll get you there on sugar.
Yeah, dude, I wasn't drunk. But, okay, when I was in D.C., I
heard this story, and
I got wasted, bro. Like
mocktails that have no alcohol in it.
No. DC, I think I had 10 shots, 2 glasses of wine, 3.
Oh, wow. You actually were drinking.
Like, I was done, bro. And that was the night where Vlad responded to Roy's tweet. Roy said, congrats on 200K followers. And Vlad responded. And I'm at the dinner table. I had medium well, by the way. And I'm like looking at this tweet, like blasted out of my mind. And I'm like, I need to respond. Like, this Vlad just responded. And I start typing. And then one of the guys that was with us, he was mad that I was on my phone. And he was like, you got to get it off your phone. And I was like, no. He's like, all right, you're going to have to drink another glass of wine if you want to be on your phone for the next 5 minutes. And so I'm drunk typing this like glazing message to Vlad. And then I have to drink another glass of wine. I was done, bro.
Were you hungover the next day?
No, I did the market open.
See, it must be nice. I remember those days.
Granted, I came home by 11:30. I drank some water. I got some sleep. It was, it wasn't.
Yeah, but you said you had 10 shots.
I did. Or maybe it was like 7 shots.
And you were mixing it with wine. I mean, it was
definitely cross-fading a lot of different drinks. Dude, we went to 3 different bars, and then the steak place had a bunch of wine, so it was a lot. But it was fun. Like I usually don't go out and get drunk like that. So when I was with like some friends, like that's the moments where I want to actually enjoy alcohol. Dude, it was not 3 shots. I'm telling you, it was a lot, bro. I forgot, dude. So at 11:45, I'm doing the market open, and then the lady calls me who's upstairs in the Airbnb. She's like, hey, the checkout was at 11. And I'm on live. I'm like, what do you mean the checkout was? I'm here for another day. And then I look at my flight ticket. I'm like, My flight's in 5 hours. I thought I was going to be in DC for 2 days. Apparently, I was only there for a day and for one night. I don't think it was because of the drinks, but it definitely didn't help. But yeah, I was very confused. 10 Shirley Temple shots. Oh my God. These Shirley Temples are great, though. They really are good. We need to get one together, Steve.
Get what together?
A Shirley Temple.
Why?
You'll enjoy it.
No, I won't.
By the way, one of the people I was with at dinner, he said he would never touch a medium well in his life, and I didn't finish the last couple pieces. He ate them. He didn't hate the medium well. Look at that. Juicy.
Yeah, I mean, you don't let that go to waste, but there's gray on it. The only time that's acceptable is if it's like a 2-inch thick steak because of the heat differential.
I don't even know what to talk about. All I know is that medium well is not bad. Is there any other stocks on your mind that are really making you think a little bit more?
I'm telling you, I really think Nvidia is going to do something big this year. I really do.
I mean, I don't disagree.
I think when the Fed cuts, there's going to be some interesting plays. And I think there's some REITs that are really interesting here.
Dude, what about Meta? It almost got back to 700 today.
Yeah, Meta's going to 1,000.
I think you're right. ASTS had a great day as well. Chris and I will do a podcast on that. Well, it did have it was at like 35, then it fell. Yeah, Rocket Lab had a great day too.
I don't even talk about Meta just because it's going to 1,000. There's nothing else that needs to be said.
I agree with you. I agree. The REIT ARES, that's the one you're looking at, right?
ARE is the new one.
ARE.
Yeah, I mean, look, it trades at discount to book, discount to equity. It's got 91.7% occupancy rate. I like it. I like it.
What do you think about this headline? Amazon's working on humanoid robots.
Ooh, I sent that to 2 of my friends today.
What did they say?
That the humanoid robots are going to be jumping out of trucks. It goes back to what I said about job displacement.
Okay. I agree with you, but my broader question is, but what about Nvidia and Tesla? I mean, or not Nvidia, really Tesla. Does that hurt Tesla's ambitions if Amazon's going after it?
Yeah, absolutely. If Amazon's already doing it and Amazon's making something or they're partnering with somebody else and Optimus is not even out, yeah, it's not good. I mean, it's not going to kill it, but it's not good.
I agree. I think Figure released a new video today that also showed some really good stuff. But look, I don't know how serious Amazon is on actually freaking.
And who knows? It could be bull. We don't know. The real question is when you coming in to get some chicken parms.
Dude, so I will be in New York. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in New York next Friday. By the way, this is the video. That's the robot working on UPS packages. That's crazy, bro. Like it's figuring out which ones are the right ones. Like I haven't seen Tesla do anything like this yet. And maybe they're working on it.
You said next Friday, the 13th?
No, sorry, that's my dad's birthday. I can't do next Friday. Okay, so probably the Friday after that then.
20th?
Or maybe no, the Saturday, maybe the 14th. Wait, you can't do Saturdays though, right?
No, and I have the 20th is not good for me. I have why is there a meeting from 10 to 3? What is this?
Is that with the HOA?
From 10 to 3? No, it's work.
Dude, look at this bot, guys. It's like really like figuring out what packages are which ones. Like this is crazy.
How about the 27th?
I think that works.
All right, we'll see if Ken's around.
Let's do the 27th, bro. Let's get this chicken parm. Let's make it happen.
We'll get a pie. We'll get the meatballs. We'll get chicken parm. Get some cannolis.
All right. So I guess to end it off, you're still bullish overall markets, right?
Yeah, I mean, that hasn't changed. I would really like the Fed to start cutting. I think they're making a very big mistake not cutting here. And I think they're going to get in a standoff with Trump.
Okay, so
Why are people saying I'm the HOA commissioner?
you're the president.
I am the president of the board, yes. But it's not like that. I take care of the financials.
You're the mafia boss that makes sure no one messes with the building, bro. That's what you do. Oh, would you rather buy Meta, Google, or Amazon for the next decade? Someone asked.
Meta.
Really?
Yeah.
Next decade, Meta?
Yeah. They have no competition.
I get it, but I'm still picking Amazon.
They have no competition. Let's say that for a third time. They have no competition. They have
Meta,
more than
Google,
a third of the global population utilizes their products. They haven't even begun monetizing WhatsApp. AI is going to be crazy for them.
what if I threw Nvidia in that list of 4?
I still like Meta, man.
I wonder if a decade from now, Nvidia just was the cyclical play for 5 years, or if it is sustainable at 10 trillion.
So, and that's the problem with Nvidia. If you said 2 years, 3 years, I think it's Nvidia. But you go out that long, at some point, you got to think the GPUs are becoming commoditized.
Yeah.
And remember, my original thesis was we had 12 to 18 months, and then I said it's probably more like 24 to 36 months now. So,
Yep. I think that. So, okay. So if Nvidia gets to 200 by December, are you selling?
probably not.
I think
Because I think it can go further, and I think it's got a good couple of years left before it starts to pull a Micron.
Yeah, I would say so as well. I even if it got to like 225 by the end of this year, I would still give it till 2027.
Yeah, I think it's got a good runway. And look, until that cash from operations chart starts doing something else, I mean, the sky's the limit for this.
Yeah, agreed. All right, guys. I think that is it. The Mike Gallagher podcast, hopefully out next week. I got to interview Mike Gallagher from Palantir, and that was a fun one.
Nice.
So I think you guys will enjoy it. I'll be live tomorrow on the Market Open, and then I will be at the airport, but I still will be live for hopefully about 25 to 30 minutes when we get the Robinhood news. 5:15 p.m. Eastern is when we get the announcement for S&P.
What time are you getting back?
I'll text you, but it's late at night. So I'm gonna be tired on Saturday because it's just, dude, it's been a week of traveling, like just a full
No,
week.
I'm just saying, like, what time are you getting back tomorrow?
I think 11 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m.
Oh, wow. So, wow.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a long flight, but I'm not doing any more traveling for the next 2 months. So we'll get to just stay home and chill out. And then August I move out. So I got to get ready for that. Yeah, so we're
going to watch a movie on the flight home?
You know what my United flight had Starlink, so it was great Wi-Fi, great internet. And I think I probably watched like 150 Instagram reels on the flight. Some TikToks in there as well, you know?
All
So they had The Godfather available, Godfather 2. They had all the Goodfellas. I was like, I don't feel like watching it. So
All right.
that's what I did.
You know, this whole reselling market is so crazy right now.
It is.
It's getting even crazier. Like the amount of scalpers out there, the fact that people are lining up at Costco and Target in the middle of the day for cards is nuts.
Yeah, it's an industry. It's a real industry. Yes, the Market Open will be tomorrow, guys. It will be tomorrow. Steve, so I don't know if you know the answer to this. I think yesterday was the ex-dividend date. So I don't think you get paid the dividend if you bought it yesterday.
No, you have to own it the day before.
Yeah,
because that trades. If it went ex-dividend yesterday, you had to own it the day before because it trades ex-dividend.
Yeah, so June 3rd was the last day. Dude, someone at Palantir literally.
When do we get paid?
Tomorrow.
Nice.
Someone at Palantir literally brought up the stickers on my TV, And I'm looking at them like, how do you know about this? They're like, dude, I follow you on Twitter. I saw the sticker conspiracy. I was like, and they're like, you got to take those stickers off. I was like, the fact that this random person brought it up was wild, bro.
Can you please take the stickers off?
I just don't understand why people care so much, is my broader point.
I'm going to break it down for you. One, it gives a nasty reflection when you're watching the TV.
I don't watch it on TV.
Two, it traps heat inside of the TV.
Okay, so what?
So what? That can lead to degradation in the screen. It can lead to electrical problems inside with the board. Like, take it off.
It's not covering the full screen. It's just like on the side.
No, it looks like it's covering the screen. It looks like there's thumbprints on the top right.
There's definitely thumbprints, but I'm telling you, it's not. I checked. It's not a freaking.
You checked. It's not on the screen?
No.
Get some screen cleaner and clean your screen.
Dude, see, you take TV seriously. I don't watch TV, so I kind of like never.
Do you clean your monitor?
Not really. I clean my keyboard a lot more. Not really.
You don't clean your monitor screen?
No, not really, dude.
You have a laptop you travel with. It's closed all the time in your bag. You don't.
I've showed you guys that thing that you pop open and it has the little brush. I use that to clean the keyboard, but not the monitor. Not really. I probably should do it more, but
Probably should.
all right. I think that's it.
It's so funny.
Steve's the best, dude. So can we just wait? Can we acknowledge you becoming a Twitter content creator now? You're finally tweeting. Like this guy, he posted the milk.
Oh, yeah, that was one tweet.
You need to do it, dude. This got 30,000 views. You're a Seeking Alpha stock market content creator, and you're talking about your milk, and people cared. I'm telling you, people care about your life, bro. Like,
I am going to. Maybe I'll start putting some pictures of what I cook on here.
dude, you have to. You're great. Steve sends me his cooking all the time. It's good stuff.
I mean, I had a whole concept of an idea for a YouTube show, and I just never did it.
People would be very excited if you did bring
I was going to call it Backyard Heroes, and I was going to cook, and then I was going to go around and have people cook for me and judge their cooking. Because everybody thinks that they can freaking grill great. And people send me freaking pictures of the steaks that they make, and they look phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I agree. This is Steve's Twitter. If anyone wants to follow him, you can see it right here in the chat. And we should get the cooking channel.
Dude, that person's correct. Garlic butter is lit. Garlic butter is so good.
All right, folks. That's it. Thank you, everybody. I'll be live tomorrow on the Market Open. Appreciate you all. Wild day. We'll talk about it more tomorrow. And we'll keep going from there. All right. Thank you, everybody. See you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
You need to pull that up.